I haven't talked about this publicly, but I think it's time. Now, some folks know that my wife and I are expecting our first child, a daughter. But what we haven't really talked about publicly is that she only exists because of IVF. Now, we didn't just choose IVF. We turned to it because science gave us a terrifying truth. If we conceive naturally, there was a 1 in 4 chance that our child would be born with a debilitating or even deadly genetic disorder. And even if we beat those odds, there was still a 75% chance that our kid would carry the gene and maybe suffer from it later. So we did what responsible, loving parents would do. We used IVF. We used genetic screening. We used medicine to protect our child's life before she was even born. A lot of you know that I'm a veteran. I spent a year overseas facing bullets and bombs, and I had a really tough transition coming home. For most of my adult life, I never thought that I would make it this far. Now imagine making it past 20 years of that struggle and being 2 weeks away from the beautiful gift of your IVF conceived daughter's due date, and turning on the news and seeing that an IVF clinic was hit with a vehicle-borne explosive device. It wasn't vandalized. It was a VBIED, like the ones that my friends and I dealt with in Iraq. And while that clinic burned, while families like mine were being targeted, Donald Trump is out there pardoning people who commit violence against fertility and abortion clinics. They're extremists, terrorists, and he's pardoning them. The law that's supposed to protect those clinics is called the FACE Act. That's the Freedom of Access to Clinic Entrances Act. It's been on the books since 1994. And it's what makes it a federal crime to block, threaten, or attack people seeking reproductive health care, including IVF, abortion, contraception, and miscarriage management. But under the Trump-Musk regime, the FACE Act is being gutted, but not in courts. Instead, through pardons and propaganda. Trump has pardoned multiple anti-abortion terrorists, including people who served time for physically blocking clinics, assaulting patients, and even threatening doctors' lives. People convicted under the FACE Act. Trump has celebrated them as heroes. So now, those people feel invincible. They're not just organizing, they're escalating. Bombings, arson, targeting doctors, targeting families. And this isn't just about abortion. I need you to hear this loud and clear. They're coming for IVF. They say it loud. They call embryos babies. They say freezing embryos is a crime against God. They want fertilized eggs to have more rights than my living, breathing wife. They don't give a damn about children. They care about control. My daughter will be born sometime in the next 2 weeks. And this is only possible because of IVF. Because of the work of scientists, doctors, embryologists, and nurses, people who are risking their own lives and being terrorized for giving my family the gift of life. Terrorized by fascists who feel empowered because the president gave them a green light. Let me tell you who uses IVF more than most. Military families, veterans, people like me. The VA doesn't cover IVF for veterans like me, but when a soldier gets wounded in combat or faces toxic exposures during their services and loses reproductive function and still wants a family, IVF can be the only way. And a lot of us, veterans and our spouses, use genetic testing to prevent inheritable disorders because we know trauma, we know pain, we've seen more loss and suffering than anyone should have to. We're trying to protect our kids before they're even born. It's precisely because of all of the ugliness that we've seen in this world that we use tools and treatments like IVF to make sure that our children have the best chances possible in life and in health. So when someone bombs a fertility clinic and the president rewards people like them, that's not a one-off. That's a fucking strategy. This is fascism, the kind that doesn't come goose-stepping down the street in jackboots. It comes in the form of religious extremists holding crosses while they scream in doctors' faces. It comes in the form of a pardon, a press release, or a second term. If and when my wife and I want to give our daughter the gift of having a little brother, we're going to have to use IVF again. And every time we go to that clinic, we're going to face those extremist threats. Things like VBIEDs. The threats of facing weapons of war and insurgency that we thought we left behind in Iraq and Afghanistan. This isn't hypothetical. This is now. It's happening to my family, and it could happen to yours. If you or someone you love has ever needed IVF, if you've ever lost a pregnancy, if you've ever needed contraception, if you've ever imagined a future where you had your own control over your own body, this fight is yours. I'm bringing a daughter into this world, and I swear to you, I will burn every ounce of strength that I have to make sure that she grows up free. Free to have a family, free to make choices, free to live without terror. If you're with me, if you want to live in a country where IVF clinics don't get bombed and fascists don't get pardoned, then speak the hell up. Because silence, that's complicity.